Elon Musk and Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent get in an F-word screaming match feet from the Oval Office. Why do I think that F-word wasn't them telling each other to go finance themselves? It can often be a sad occasion when we learn one of the greats is hanging it up. I think we can all remember where we were when Shaq announced he was retiring from basketball to spend more time with his endorsements. But then there are other times when it just feels right.
Elon Musk has been one of the president's most powerful advisors, but he now says he will be spending less time in the Trump administration and more time focused on his business as it faces backlash.
Hate to see you go, but we love to watch you leave. Wait, am I admiring Elon's ass in that joke? That's not what I was... Anyway, point is that Elon announced overnight in an earnings call that his time at Doge was coming to an end.
I think starting probably in next month, May, my time allocation to Doge will drop significantly.
Oh no, a man who thinks of himself as godlike is suddenly back on the job market? Do we have a Pope Musk on the horizon? You laugh, but lest you forget, we live in hell. Now, as much as I'd love to celebrate Musk's departure, there's also a chance that his math is off. You know, considering his math has been off since he started. So Elon says he's leaving next month, but maybe he's actually leaving 1 billion months from now. But the idea that Elon is winding down on a job that he's had for less than half a college semester is because times have been tough for Tesla. They just announced a 9% drop in revenue from January to March and a 71% drop in profits from the last quarter. But Elon has a hunch as to why.
The electric car giant blaming the growing trade war and, quote, changing political sentiment, which could have a meaningful impact on demand for our products in the near term.
As people know, there's been some blowback for the time that I've been spending in government with the Department of Government Efficiency, or Doge.
Oh, really? Yeah, we hadn't noticed. Usually when business is booming, people don't ask their boss to do a pop-up commercial on the front lawn of their house. And it wasn't just Trump. Elon enlisted help from the entire cabinet to help his company.
Officials across the Trump administration have really been working to support the company. And the latest and perhaps the clearest example came late last night when Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick urged viewers in a television interview to buy Tesla stock. He said, if you want to learn something on this show tonight, buy Tesla, going on to say it was unbelievable how cheap the stock was and adding it will never be this cheap again.
That has got to suck. You are the richest man in the world, and it's like you're asking your parents to promote your lemonade stand because it's tanking. But Tesla's slump couldn't actually come at a better time for Musk because, as it happens, his tenure in the White House hasn't always been the greatest hang.
We saw Elon Musk call Peter Navarro quote, dumb as bricks, and, quote, a moron.
Elon Musk at odds with some of the president's cabinet members over his Doge department's efforts to cut federal jobs. Well, yesterday it boiled over during this cabinet meeting. Musk and Secretary of State Marco Rubio clashing.
Tonight, President Trump continues to insist that Elon Musk and his Secretary of State Marco Rubio have a great relationship, and he says anything to the contrary is false.
That's right. Elon loves Rubio. He loves him so much that he recently surprised him one morning with the gift of a horse. Oh, sorry, that's a horse head. But according to some breaking news from today, Elon has found a new man to joust with, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. A new report from Axios details that the two men got into a shouting match inside the West Wing last week over the IRS, which is odd. Not the fight, but that Elon himself was doing the fighting. Usually he pays people to fight on his behalf. But where some people see shouting, Caroline Leavitt sees a healthy debate.
There are disagreements amongst the president's staff and cabinet sometimes, but we think that's part of the healthy debate process.
It's genuinely hard to refute that argument when Leavitt's boss has set the tone for what constitutes a healthy debate.
In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in, they're eating the cats.
Honestly, when the bar is migrants are eating cats and dogs, then pretty much everything seems healthy by comparison. But this fight between Bessent, Musk, and the IRS has been brewing for a while now. Last week, Trump appointed an IRS agent named Gary Shapley to be acting commissioner of the agency, and he did so because that's who Musk recommended, even though Bessent is the acting commissioner's direct supervisor. Well, suffice it to say, Bessent wasn't having any of that shit.
That's right, Laura. President Trump has replaced the acting head of the IRS at the urging of Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Now, Gary Shapley had been picked by Elon Musk Musk earlier this month to run the IRS, but without Besson's blessing. So on Friday, Shapley was dismissed while Trump tapped Michael Falkender into the role of acting commissioner. Now, these changes at the IRS are reflective of the increasing tension within the administration over Elon Musk's vast influence.
Again, no tension, healthy debate. Elon is like any other billionaire, known for getting along with others. So not only did Elon march into the White House and swing his chainsaw around, he hasn't even done the one job he was hired to do.
The Trump administration is spending more on a daily basis than the Biden administration was. So even if the whole good idea of DOGE is less government spending, it has absolutely failed.
Wow. What a shocker that the guy who spends money trying to look like the Ed Hardy version of Neo might not be the most trustworthy when it comes to unilaterally taking control of our government's finances. Well, it was only a matter of time before the details of Musk's earning call found its way to Trump, who today essentially bid farewell to his favorite son.
He's a brilliant guy, and he was a tremendous help, both in the campaign and in what he's done with DOGE.
I hate to say this, but I kind of feel sorry for Elon. The guy was brought into the White House as this saving grace for our nation, a man who was heralded as this great discoverer of waste, fraud, and abuse at every turn, but instead, he just got into shouting matches with his colleagues and had to repeatedly lie to justify his whole reason for being there. He spent over $20 million on the race in Wisconsin that he declared would decide the fate of Western civilization and lost, and all of these actions culminated in him ruining the reputation of his car company and pissing off his shareholders. For a guy he's a brilliant guy, he seems pretty dumb to me.